Hi, this is Nicole Hussey. My project was basically trying to come up with a presentation about going to graduate school while you're dealing with a chronic medical condition. So it's something a lot of graduate students face on top of their other priorities like family and jobs and all that good stuff. So I wanted to come up with a long form piece to put in a post, some tweets that would really accentuate both the struggles and also the possibilities that are out there for people who are dealing with health problems. And then I used Facebook a bit as well to post more links that have pictures or graphics or something like that. So if we look at my Tumblr, which is When I Land, my long form piece here is about dealing with trying to get a degree and having an illness at the same time. So I wrote that out. I think it's not so long that it's distracting or feels like a chore for somebody to read, but that it's engaging and hopefully wants to make people either read more or research more. I also did a graphic, and this graphic I had a little bit of trouble with because it comes out really well on the mobile app for Tumblr, but it doesn't look as clean on the desktop. So that was something that I'd like to try and fix if I was working on this project more. Hopefully this was something that people could look at quickly, take a peek and say, oh yeah, this is what I'm facing, or this is what somebody I know is facing, and have some tips, not necessarily tips as in things you could actually do for it, but tips as in other people are going through this too. I also just did a quick post here on the difference of receiving medicines at an Ivy League institution versus any other college. So this was obviously in regards to the meningitis outbreak at Princeton. So that's the Tumblr page. And also on the Tumblr page, if I scroll all the way down here, it hosts my tweets as well. So you can see my tweets. You can also connect to my Facebook, Google+, and Instagram. But it hosts my tweets here. So if you're not on Twitter, you can at least see what I'm tweeting about. So if I go over here to Twitter, you can see that my tweets are, in fact, very much about health and wellness. I tried to keep them as close to being entertaining as possible without being kind of silly. So I want people to make sure that they're reading articles that are interesting, but not so boring or depressing, because a lot of times when chronic conditions are talked about or dealt with in the media, it's always really sad. So I wanted to have a little more levity. And then Facebook here, I just did, a few things like my audio interview, which is on YouTube. And we can go to that here. So I did an audio interview with a woman that we're calling Ann Smith. She has a chronic medical condition and she went to graduate school. I decided to read the interview myself instead of having both her and I interact on it because of privacy reasons. So she didn't want to disclose her full name, her real name, or her condition to anybody. So this was the way to give her the most privacy while still dealing with something like chronic medical condition that needs to be addressed. So my main problems were the technical issues that I had with trying to upload an audio file only. It was really simple if I wanted to upload a movie or a video file, but uploading audio only for some reason on my program just wasn't connecting and wasn't clicking. So I had to put the audio into a video format, and that was the only way I was able to get that uploaded. So that was one of the major problems. The only other problem is, again, trying to find levity and, some entertainment in something such as chronic medical conditions for graduate students. So that's something that you just don't find a lot of on the internet. You don't find a lot of people who are willing to talk about it. And again, protecting privacy, I think I went kind of above and beyond with Anne's, but generally speaking, privacy is a big issue when it comes to this. So going forward, I would really like to take this and make it into its own website. I think it's something that can't necessarily live on Twitter, Facebook, or blogging alone. I think it needs to have its own website. So sure, we can go ahead and send out tweets and, plan on sending out 2 to 5 tweets a week. We can plan on doing posts on the Tumblr page. We can plan on doing that once a week. But for it to really have legs and to really make a difference and have people interact, I think it needs its own page. Also, with Facebook, I was going to do some sort of back and forth at either a debate or some question and answer of some kind. And it's just not user friendly in the way of making something up that looks professional and still putting it on that site. And then there's also the fact that a lot of people are moving away from that website. So again, I think the best way to go forward if this was going to become an actual project would be to host it on an actual website, and then it could have the attitude and energy that I would want it to have. And I think that's about it. Thanks.